Hey guys, welcome back. It's Lucid, and it's turn 35, and we have a dire portent. The people of Arcocephale, who are truly blessed amongst the peoples of the world, calling forth the treasure of the earth. I believe that's Earthblood Deepwell. Riches from beneath. Not really a great, like, shit your pants, like when you're getting attacked and don't have any land. It's more like a sit on your haunches kind of thing. Okay, here we go. Fight from Agartha and Arcocephale. So Agartha with no mages and a Arcocephale with twice the troops and a big mage core. I don't think I'm going to be able to hype this up much and like do the suspense, because this is going to be a beatdown. Now there's also some garbage out here. I will say these like little cave monkeys here with a ton of HP and pretty low MR are great for soaking up like mind burns. Just some of the things that the mages are doing back here. They're also making Long Dead. And there's some So Dragon Teeth coming out. But they're also just on, there's a ton of guys on Guard Commander here, and we're at turn 4, so they're not, I mean, that's it. It's a bunch of garbage in the front. Oh my god, look at these drakes. Just blasting their own troops. And these guys don't have fire resistance or anything. These drakes are like fierce. And these guys have fire resistance at least. Here got these beam weapons. Some of the monkeys apparently were on attack, and they're on attack rear. And they're getting brutalized by these crossbows. Dear God. The front line is falling to pieces. But I don't want to be... Okay. Yeah, I mean, these monkeys are going to rout. They still rout at 19 morale? The fuck? Now, those are some very brave monkeys. Terracotta soldiers? I mean, these troops are summoning a lot of... these players are summoning a lot of troops. We've got so many different summons in this army. Kind of cool. So he takes 91 losses of his own. You know, you're going to have a decent amount of losses just from, like, the crossbows. 23. I mean, the Cave Knights are pretty good. I mean, the thing is, you summon a bunch of chaff that's not very good in combat. Like, you're going to lose a lot of it. So I feel like on one hand... like, cool, we saw some cool summoned chaff and stuff like that. You know, it's really cool. On the other hand, kind of could have just, like, kept that for, like, the fight. Right? Because, like, sometimes on the fight, yeah, okay, it's going to die, but you need whatever you can have. I feel like this one they could have taken a lot more cleanly. Nevertheless, still a pretty decisive victory for Arco. And that puts a big damper in the sails of Agartha. And furthermore, oh my god. Okay, no, he just loses some Long Dead here, but kills the big PD dump. Furthermore, their plan of basically pushing past this fort and going out is kind of backfired, because now this army can potentially come over here and knock him off this fort. And while this army was pinned to the capital, it basically couldn't do that. But Joman now has nothing left in this theater, and presumably Arco can actually come over here. I think he can defend this fort. Now, I think you want to leave something at home, because you're not really at peace with Joman yet, and he's all up in your cap circle still. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Joman kind of exerting a... I mean, honestly, he could have used some of this chaff to just raid these provinces. That would have been a lot better use. Maintain some control. This fort's popped now, so we'll get to see a fort battle here where he takes this back from Arco. Very cool. On the Abyssia front, Abyssia looks like they're getting a little bit of cold feet here. They pulled these armies back. They basically decided, hey, we're not going to fight. Oh, and then he moves all 8 Ryujin here. This is the thing you have to worry about, because he starts sending out raiders, like counter raiders, and then holy shit, he does something completely unpredictable because he hasn't done it before, and holy fuck, there's 8 of them. And you're like, oh, we got a plan to kill 2 of them. We're making fire elementals, and we got some troops, and we're summoning imps. We're gonna kill these motherfuckers. And then you're like, fuck. They brought 8. Now, that being said, he killed 3 mages, which are worth in total like $600. And then, like, you know, he killed basically like 1,000 gold. Okay. What was the cost? There were a lot of air gems. I mean, a lot of gems. We had 6, 7 gems there, 10 now. Oh god, I fucked it up. 10 in the bottom, and then in the top we've got 11, 15, 19, almost 20 gems. Would you if you divide 20, so it's like 50 gold per gem you're killing? That's a pretty good deal. This is a decent trade. This is a good trade for Joman. The other thing too is this just like strikes fear into the heart. Oh god. Strikes fear into the heart of Abyssia, because now it's like when you counter raid, you're... Okay. I'm filing a lawsuit. This was not Abyssia's fault. This was perfectly fine. And this fire elemental, he gets born and he is on all sorts of hallucinogenic drugs or something. I mean, he is just disconnected from reality. Look, he's right here. These guys, like, he's specifically designed to murder Heavy Cav. And he's like, derp. Oh, look at this. He's like, no, let's march all the way back here and go for these horsemen. Filing a lawsuit. Poor Abyssia. So that's the thing, is like, when you start mixing up your game, when this is really good play by Joman, you start mixing up your game, then it's like, it adds a whole new level of complexity to this like raid and counter raiding thing, because you're worried like, oh fuck, are there going to be 8 Ryujin? So then you have to like be really careful about raiding. Abyssia actually has very good answers to this, which involves Sin Lesser Horror. You don't want to probably be thugging multiple casts of horrors as with Ryujin. It's not a game you want to play. So that's really interesting. Well played by Joman here. Expensive, you know, he had to pay 20 gems for that, but I think, you know, the psychological damage this does is pretty intense. It's going to make this whole raiding game a bit more crazy. And I mean, I don't know if this raiding game has caused like Abyssia to totally get cold feet. I think they should have committed and come down here, sat on top of this fort. I don't know what's been going on. Maybe there's some Joman assassins. Joman can do that. I don't know what's going on, but what I do know is that Abyssia has come home, mostly. And I'm not totally clear why. But it may have something to do with her Ryujin. Okay. Very cool. This province must be a gay occult. Ancient trunk. have emerged. Okay, yeah, here's the cult. I was like blind for a bit. The cult of Gaia has gained a foothold among the people. There's no way you get this much bad luck. Is this a Gaia cult too? No. Okay. Joman really is having the PvE experience here. He's got the players attacking him. He's got the forces of nature rising up against him. He's got the event system targeting him. It's just, it's amazing. He doesn't appear to be fighting Bogarus, though. I was expecting Bogarus may... they poked him here last turn. And I was thinking, like, oh, there could be, like, a counteroffensive here from Joman. But that didn't happen. Joman's like, okay, yeah, you got this province. We'll accept that. So this force of Malia Dragina comes down here. He takes this from Calum. Interesting. Maybe this was negotiated. Maybe it wasn't. Either way, Calum's probably not going to look to pick another fight. They've got... they're going to have their hands full finishing off. There's plenty of monkey forts for them to go after. Except this one looks like Bogarus is going to take care of. So he's going to come claim this throne. Throne of Misfortune, which you're already at Misfortune 3. So you cannot go to Misfortune 4. So that, in that case, that makes this an actually very good throne. But yeah, I mean, things are looking fine. He's got Mercs here. He's probably going to take this, hit this, pop this fort. Maybe lay claim to this one as well. Yeah, I mean, this, if Joman stays off Bogarus, Bogarus is in the process of turning this position around, and this is a sub. So very cool, and many for the Bogarus player. Taking a very desperate situation. I think I had even killed off some of his army for the one turn I had to do to switch the password. And he's turning it into a playable position. So very cool. Very, very cool. Coming over to Ctis and phlegra. Okay, he's attacking down here. He's popped this fort and the Drakon's still on top of it. There's only one candle here, and this candle belongs to Ctis. So it's not a Drakon candle, which would be kind of cool. Yeah, presumably he's going to storm it. There's a big pile of tomb chariots here. And he's moving these primarily where he's been doing assassins. Because, like, these guys... There's no... These guys attacking here, some of them are not PD. Some of them are actual armies. Ooh, he's casting Banefire. You can see a bunch of guys decayed. Let's actually watch that again. Yeah, there's a lot of these guys here. Like, these crossbowmen were not part of the PD. Look at these Banefires hit. Yeah, they're kind of missing a lot, but the decay's doing a fair bit. And Banefire's a decent spell. So, okay. But this is... He's moving this army basically where the crossbows... where the assassins are going. So that's kind of a good way to use assassins. You try to kill some of the commanders, and then, if you get a commander with troops on it, you move an army behind it, and if that army was moving away, it's going to leave behind all the chaff. And this is why I was saying, like, sometimes it's actually strategic to leave 0 PD. That way these guys would have retreated and, potentially made it to one of your armies. They didn't get assassinated to hell, and then you could keep using them, whereas in this case they died. Otherwise, I don't see a lot of big battles. We see Lemuria here taking over these Indies. But yeah, not a ton of battles here. I think phlegra is basically waiting. Okay, here we go. Enceladus is here. Did that happen this turn? Early winter of year 2. Late winter of year 2. Now, so he's had him for a couple turns now. So, yeah, Enceladus is free now for a couple turns. So we'll be having Laestrygonian tyrants running around all over the world, which I am looking forward to greatly. Should be really cool. They're one of the things that can be pretty hard for, like, Lemurian stuff to deal with, because they do Fire Shield, and they just kill a tremendous number of ghosts. There's ways, like, Lemuria can kill them, but they're not sacred, so you can't, like, apostasy them or anything like that, so... I mean, they're just good against a lot of things. They can be killed, though. They're not like a magic bullet, but they're pretty tough. So looking forward to seeing that, especially like what's going to happen in the hands of a newer player. I think. Okay, so Lemuria is definitely moving towards this direction. So he's either going on phlegra or he's going on Calum. And I'm thinking he's going on Calum. There's a tremendous Olmish force here, though. Maybe Olm's going to try to deny this throne from him. Ooh, 3 defense skill. It's pretty sexy on consoles. Mm-hmm. All right, I think we have finished this round because we've watched all of these conflicts. And it's before the 20-minute mark, so that means we get another turn. All right, we're back with turn 36. A message from Abyssia. The only way I can think to deal with these stupid dragons is teleport plus call horror. Okay, there's actually a spell that does that. It's called Send Horror, which is kind of funny because it's what we were talking about. But it'll take a bit before I have the research, and I only have 1 teleport attack capable warlock. I'm at a loss, and we'll probably just turtle. So yeah, this actually is a pretty interesting thing. I think what we're seeing here, I don't want to generalize and say it's normally the case, but what we're seeing here, we're seeing a lot of players like freeze and go into a defensive mode. Like, problem comes out, I don't know how to handle it, and like the solution is kind of turtle. Like, we're even seeing Joman do it a bit. You know, he's still doing deep raiding and stuff, but yeah, I mean, we could devote some time to how to deal with them, but they're not really very hard to deal with, I don't think. I mean, if he has 10 in a province, yeah, that's going to be hard to deal with. And by the way, you don't want them fucking getting your Bronze Colossus. You have to be, like, water elementals will fuck up a Bronze Colossus. Yeah, I don't know about this. Pulling back. Don't know about it. I mean, on one hand, you don't want to lose them. I mean, there's just so many different ways. I mean, Send Horror is probably the best thing. Like, Send Lesser Horror. That comes on, like, really early, guys. It's like Blood 5, right? Yeah, Send Lesser Horror. Abyssia can do this pretty trivially. I mean, guys, we're at turn 36. This should be available. Not to like spam out, but we're not needing to spam it out, right? We need to cast it like 3 times to kill 2 Ryujin. They basically take these guys and they can just slam it. The Astral randoms can cast it without boosters because I think it's Astral 3 to cast it. But yeah, I mean, you can slam it. So, pretty easy to cast. You just need some blood slaves. And I think, like, ton of crossbowmen will probably kill a lot of the Ryujin. Now, you can design Ryujin to be immune to crossbows. I want that to be 100% clear. But that's not the Ryujin we're seeing, you know? And then if they're immune to crossbows, they're not going to be immune to like a Banefire and shit. So that's another thing you can be doing. There's like a bunch of different threat vectors you have as Abyssia. Fire elementals, crossbows, Banefire, horrors. There's a lot of stuff you can do. So, and yeah, the god. I mean, the god can potentially make a Ryujin killing kit and jump him like... I can't remember if he has magic phase paths, but maybe you could jump him on them. Anyhow, moving along, Joman raids both of these provinces back with very minimal losses. He moves on top of this these forces of nature, takes this back, and he pings inside this fort, which he has cracked. And inside, it's a small contingent of dudes. A few nature gems on this lady, but otherwise we're not seeing a whole hell of a lot. Probably some summon Sparte here on this guy. So yeah, just 3 mages and some monkeys. I don't think I'll have too much trouble there. coming up to Arco, they have moved out, rolling back towards Agartha. And Agartha has not popped this, and they really wanted to pop it this turn. It's got 500 wall strength. The thing is if they don't pop it this turn, this Arco army is going to be able to come over here and basically threaten it from them, like to take it. So it can move here, it can move here. Either way, it's going to be in position to fight this. And quite frankly, it's going to be really hard. This is like one of the things if you're a new player, it's very hard to win major fights in the mid game without mage support. And that's what Garth is trying to do here. I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's really, really tough. And like, we're not seeing amazing spells coming out of Arco, but we're seeing enough. It's going to be really, really hard. I think what we see this turn is this army and this army consolidate here. And then we'll see a big battle on this fort in a turn or two. Scouts getting patrolled out here. And I believe that covers this conflict. We've covered the phlegra Ctis conflict. For Kalem, oh my god. We have the final battle in Patala. The fort is cracked. The Golden Naga is here. Now, this is a really important hero for Patala because it gives them fire access, so they can do, like, flaming arrows. It's a really... I mean, it's also, like, a super combatant. It's a very, very cool dude. And it's a prophet, and so it's in Friendly Dominion. Oh. Should be in Friendly Dominion, but it's not. Because apparently somebody's been preaching on top of their fort. I mean, the question is, how are you going to survive? I think these guys are going to HP route. You really need, like, Iron Warriors. Not Curse of Stones. You need, like, Iron Warriors on this guy and hope he survives. I mean, Body of Thero is good against the Raven Guard, but... yeah. Not looking good for the monkeys. We'll watch that again. I kind of cheated you guys out of a battle. Communion Master, Communion Slave. I guess they were thinking they'd get caught in the gate, but you're fighting birds, my friend. Well, that's how that went. Loses one Harabelder and a little bit of chaff, but Ford wins a capital. He's got the Jeweled City of Patala. Get some water income, some earth income, some astral income. Not bad. Not bad at all. He's patrolling out these guys. Birds over here. The Malia Georgina run into one of Patala's legendary PD dumps. And Malia Georgina are very good. They're going to deal with these chaff swarms pretty well. But that is a lot of monkey poo. And the commander dies. They actually might have survived it if the commander didn't die. I don't think they would have. I think they would have still lost. There was just so much monkey poo. But the commander running in, that was the nail in the coffin. So, I guess Patala's just basically preparing to do their last stand on these forts. So that'll be interesting. Bogarus moves on top of this, and we have another one of Patala's legendary PD dumps. Patala, we need to get you playing on a nation with better PD types. The monkey PD, not really amazing. There's other nations that have really good PD, like... I feel like Abyssia's up there. What are other nations with good PD? I think I tried ranking them before. I think that'd be maybe a funny video. It's like another tier list video, but by PD types. That would be pretty funny. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So presumably he's going to storm this. He's taken this. So yeah, Bogarus looking, in a salvageable position. A little unfortunate they lost the Malia Druzina here. But honestly, they come in here with a couple air elementals. That's all this thing needed. And like 10, the 10 or 15 Malia Druzina and then some air elementals, like 2 of them, and that would clean this up. Anything new happening in the Ctis? Okay, hello. Ctis attacks phlegra, and this is a lot of chicken neck chariots. I mean, look at these guys. He has filled up the battlefield. And phlegra has... Where's the Drakon? Okay, he's up front. He doesn't have a Dominion bonus, right? Yeah, small Dominion penalty, 1 candle. Oh, Banefire's coming out. What is the god cast? Earth Power, Strength of Giants. Oh no. I feel like you probably want personal regen, but you also really don't want your god getting decayed, because it's hard to come back from being old. Oh god. Who did that? Who did that? Oh, and Foul Vapors is up here too? Oh, yikes. Oh, phlegra. Oh god, this went south really quickly. This is a shout out to Zan. Zan, I wish you were here casting this with me because, oh my god. Zan is apt to remind you that, I believe he would call this roadkill. Anything that's not size 3 or 4. How big do you have to be to not be roadkill? Yeah, so anything size 3 and below is roadkill. And, I mean, honestly, I was a little shocked by this. I mean, just look how fast everything dies. And these are good troops. Iron Guard are good. I mean, it's over very quickly. It's only a couple rounds in melee, and it's just... Like, they make contact and they're destroying these. I mean, the Gifts of Heaven is real nice. Who's casting that? Oh, it's these Maguses. And he's got them communioned up, and they've got... So he poison warded himself. I mean, this is pretty good play from Ctis. He got a poison ward on all of his mages and did Foul Vapors. Poison resistance. Wait, the masters had poison resistance though. Of course, the slaves do. Okay, no, that master doesn't. Banefire, Banefire, Banefire. Well, this guy has it now. How did he get hit by it? Oh, here we go. Poison ward coming out from this guy. Okay. Yeah, so he poison warded himself and then Foul Vapored him with a bunch of Banefire. I mean, this was Ctis. Very nice battle, my friend. And this is beautiful. He's been just playing... He's been playing his hands so close to the chest. Been very cautious about committing anything. Wipes out the Drakon. Wipes out a small Phlegran army. I mean, oh my god. Takes out a PD dump here. I mean, is Phlegra going to have to sue for peace again after another failed invasion? He failed to take Kalem, and now he's looking like he's going to struggle to take Ctis. We've seen very low mage commitment. He was kind of thinking he could just walk in here without many mages and just conquer Ctis. It's not out of the question, but you're a Scales Nation fighting into like Foul Vapors and Banefire and a bunch of other bullshit. And Zan would put it, you have a bunch of roadkill on your side. How is this going to go? I'm very curious to find out, but I don't have an answer for you. All I'll say is I was just highly entertained. So thank you to both players for that. Coming down to Lemuria, he's moved again back down towards Ulm. Thinking Ulm would attack, he's remilitarized this border, did not make a play on Kalem. But Ulm is looking like they're ready to fight. So maybe we get to see this. If Ulm has flaming arrows, which I can just tell you he doesn't from this army, but you really need flaming arrows. Rangers of Ulm are actually a liability if you don't have flaming arrows. We've talked a lot about what you need to kill Lemuria, but you need like anti-magic, flaming arrows is great. And then supply items. But yeah, crossbowmen without flaming arrows are actually they're actually a real liability to your troops, because the ghosts have like shields, which will help them block, and they're ethereal. And a lot of times, especially if you have like anti-magic or other things up, the ghosts, or like any protection buffs, or you just have really thick dudes, the ghosts struggle to damage them. But you know what will damage your own troops is your crossbow bolts. So it's a little risky. We see Ghoul Guardians coming up though, so that's good. That means it's going to be really hard to send consuls and stuff into this army. And then the Ghoul Guardians, I mean, they're going to murder one dude a turn. They can be stolen with like Undead Command, but they're going to murder one dude a turn. So very interesting. We see these guys squaring off for a fight. And I believe we are nearing the end of this episode. I believe we are there. Possible, as always, that I missed something. Thank you so much to all of you for watching. And thanks to these players for entertaining us. And until next time, take care.